Hey troopers, this is Allison Croft, female McNulty in Trancers, and you're listening to Tommy Throwback Kovac on Splat from the Past. Say, who's the skirt? Nice.
Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things could get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming, I am just so excited for this interview today because I'm interviewing a cult movie hero and legend, and I'm talking about Joey Cramer, who played David Freeman, the kid in Flight of the Navigator, the Disney sci-fi cult classic. I'm having him on the show today to talk about that movie. He was also in another sci-fi classic, Runaway, with Tom Selleck, and he was in the TV Disney Movie of the Week, I Man, with another guest of mine, Ellen Bree, and he did a couple other things as well, the Clan of the Cave Bear, and I'll be talking to him about all that stuff today, and I can't wait. Like I said, he's a legend. So let's let the show begin. So yeah, here is my interview with Joey Cramer.
Hey.
Hey, Joey, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm pretty good. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
This is such a great honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure, for sure. Splat from the past.
Yeah. So, going back in time, you were a child actor. At what age did you start gravitating toward acting?
Well, around 8 years old, actually. My mom worked at the theater department in the university up here in BC, mm-hmm. and so I was in a play when I was 8, and the musical South Pacific, and I loved it. I took to it, and then from there, got an agent and did some commercials, and then some background work and things like that. And then when I was 10, I got my first feature film, which was in Runaway,
right.
With Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons from Kiss as the bad guy, and then it kind of snowballed from there, you know.
Yeah. So your mother, she was a theater actress?
Actually, no, she worked in the box office, but I grew up on theater, and she did a lot of, like, the lighting and stuff. She would volunteer to do lighting for plays.
Right.
We watched a lot of musicals growing up and stuff. She was always very into the arts and stuff, so it was definitely part of my childhood.
Nice. And
Yeah.
you're born and raised in Vancouver?
Yeah, I was actually born kind of in the interior of BC, a little teeny tiny town, but yeah, mostly raised in Vancouver, down in Kits, and now I'm living on Vancouver Island, so
nice.
It's still close enough. I've been doing some work in Vancouver and stuff, so I go back and forth by the ferry, but yeah, it's still a BC boy. Yeah.
Yeah. So before you got cast in Runaway, did you do any commercials?
I did. My first commercial I got was actually a 3-part, pretty big one for ICBC, which is the insurance corporation, like for motor vehicle insurance. It's kind of, in Canada, I guess it's a little different. We're in BC anyway. We've got like one insurance carrier, right? Whereas in the States, I think it's you shop around, right? Different.
Yeah.
So it was all about, it was the promotion for making sure to buckle your seatbelt and stuff, and not leave a bunch of stuff loose around in the car in case you have to slam on the brakes and then the stuff flies around. And yeah, it was fun. There was a lot of kind of puppetry in the commercial, and this big caricature, Captain Click. He was like, Captain Click, buckle your seatbelt, click, click, click. So it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. At least you didn't get to endorse a fast food or something.
No, I did do a chocolate milk commercial later, which was, fun, and one for the Bay, which was like kind of like Sears. So yeah, and a few other ones, and then I had some background roles, and there's one called The Journey of Natty Gann, which was a movie. I think John Cusack was in that. And,
right. Meredith Salinger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I did some background in that, and I did a bit of background in The Neverending Story as well.
Oh.
And actually had a small kind of stunt fill-in part. So one of the little boys got sick, I guess, and he couldn't. They were doing the scene where Falcor chases the kid down the alley in the end, and so they had me dress up like the boy, and I went and dove into the pile of garbage next to the dumpster. One kid jumps in the dumpster, and I dived and dove into the pile beside, getting chased by Falcor. So it was fun. It was fun. Loved it. So.
Oh. That's awesome. Wow, I didn't even know. It's not even listed on IMDb.
No.
That's crazy.
No. Before that, yeah.
So how did you get cast in Michael Crichton's Runaway?
Well, I remember, I did an audition, and then I did a screen test as well, like a callback kind of screen test. And I remember we were in a studio somewhere, and I, kind of looked down the hall, and there was Tom Selleck at the end of the hall, and he, just kind of turned and smiled at me. It was almost like the Magnum P.I., like the smile at the end where it lifts the eyebrows and everything. But it was, it was fun. And then it was my first big role, and I remember getting the call. My old rotary phone rings, and I picked it up, and sure enough, it's my agent Bruce, and he's saying, "Yeah, you got the part." So and I mean, how cool is that too? A lot of robots and stuff, and before CGI and everything, so everything was made on, and lots of props, and all these robots were fabricated and everything, and it was cool. Super cool.
Yeah, those little mechanical spiders they look like.
Yeah, that's right. They were all remote control. Some of them hopped, some of them scurried, and also those like radio controlled bombs that they were shooting out of the car to try and blow up the cars. They were all remote control cars, and so there's all sorts of stuff on the set to really get fascinated and play around with, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Were they difficult, though, because of the obstacles of technology then?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, I guess there was a little bit of that, but for the most part, I remember it going pretty smoothly. There's the one scene where I'm in bed and I'm watching like a little. It's neat because it was way before iPads or anything, but it was basically like the premise of an iPad. I'm watching this little portable TV that's just like a little flat, disc or square, like a little pad, and watching the dinosaurs and stuff. And sure enough, years later, that's what we've got. So. Michael Crichton was definitely ahead of his time. He could see it all coming, so pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sci-fi thriller that had great possibilities, but I'm guessing that the studio, kind of bulldozed the movie.
Well, as far as I remember, I was pretty young, but I think there was a little bit of that kind of, headbutting between producers and directors, like what the company wanted the film to be like and what the director wanted the film to be like, and so it maybe didn't do as well as it could have, but yeah, it was still cool to be a part of and everything, and yeah.
Did you get to meet Gene Simmons?
Well, yeah, he. I mean, we did a couple of scenes together. Right at the end, I get captured by him, and he's, I got you, kid, Ramsey, right? And yeah, he was super funny. I mean, I loved it. I was a big Kiss fan when I was a kid, so I was like, do you really have a goat tongue sewed onto your own? And he's, just, he's like, no, it's just really long, right? And yeah, he was, super fun.
That's.
I mean, it was for my first feature film. It was really a dream come true because I loved Magnum PI and I loved Kiss, and so to get to work with both of those guys was amazing. And Cynthia Rhodes, I mean, the other people on the film as well were great, and Michael was a great director as well. Super calm, very specific, and just, it was great.
That's good. Yeah, good movie experiences are always a good thing, especially when you're a kid.
Absolutely.
Then you were in the notorious disaster, The Clan of the Cave Bear.
That's right. Yeah, that was after Runaway, and yeah, again, I guess it didn't do too well box office wise, but it was a really fun experience. I mean, 3.5 hours of makeup every day to get me looking like a little cave boy, and a lot of neat people, actors and stuff on that as well. And really cool locations, we were up on glaciers and things, and out in the woods and the forest, and yeah, we got to fly in choppers and stuff to set because it was like way out in the middle of nowhere, and so a lot of fun things as a kid to just be a part of, and yeah.
Yeah, Daryl Hannah, she was riding high off of Splash at that time.
Right.
Yeah, Thomas G. Waits is in the movie. I interviewed him last year. And, oh my God, Curtis Armstrong of all people.
Right. Yeah, wasn't from Revenge of the Nerds, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
How long did it take for them to put the wig and makeup on you every day?
It was about 3.5 hours. It's full. There's like the prosthetic forehead, right, to make you look like a Cro-Magnon and Magnum, and the wig and the full body paint and all the costuming and everything and stuff. Quite a process, but worth it. It was fun. I have only fond memories, so it's good.
Yeah. They did do a good job. I mean, you all looked like something right out of a George Lucas story, like Willow or something,
Right. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to go back and watch it again just to check it out.
Yeah. Then you did the Disney Sunday movie I Man.
That's right. Yeah. Scott Bakula and
Ellen Brie.
Right. Yeah, it was fun. Again, I mean, that one was even cooler. I mean, I feel so lucky and fortunate because I just kept having these great experiences. Corey Allen directed that, and he was just wonderful as well. There was some really cool scenes in that where I fall through the skylight, and so I got to do another little bit of stunt work with candy glass and things, and of course that dream of a little boy of being indestructible, the super healing powers and all that. So yeah, that was great, and I totally liked that as well.
I talked to Ellen about 7 months ago. She's a fun, great lady, and she's going to be happy that I talked to you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, yeah, say hi.
I sure will. Now we get to Flight of the Navigator, the Disney cult classic. I'm sure you get asked this all the time. How did you get cast as David?
So, I did an audition here in Vancouver, and then got a call back. I think it was the 3 process. So I got a call back that recorded like a screen test up here, but then they flew us down, my mom and I, to LA to meet Randall Kleiser, the director, and I read, and seeing the scene where we're underwater, and I'm going, does this thing leak? What's going on? We're underwater. Does this thing leak? He's like, no, Navigator, I do not leak. You leak, remember? So, and neat, actually, I just saw a little clip of that actual audition that Lisa Downs, the director and producer of Life After the Navigator, she got a hold of some of that footage, so that'll be neat to see in the documentary as well. So,
nice.
But, yeah. So I, and then I got the part, and how amazing is that? And found out many years later that that they auditioned somewhere between 300 and 400 kids for that role. So I really lucked out. It was one of those lifetime once in a lifetime opportunities, and it was brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it was originally an independent film that Disney picked up, right?
Yeah, it was. I guess it was originally going to be put out by PSO, which was Production Sales Organization, a company back then. They had also had movies like 9.5 Weeks, Short Circuit,
right,
Under the Hill, Lost Boys.
I didn't know that.
All sorts of those kind of 80s classics from every genre. So, and then as far as I understand, they went bankrupt and sold off the films to different places, and Disney picked up Navigator. So, yeah.
Disney, they were in kind of a transitional stage. I think Michael Eisner had already started with them. And most of the movies they were making at that time were bombing at the box office, like Return to Oz and Condor Man. And then the Touchstone Pictures really pulled them out of financial ruin with box office hits.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Were they expecting this to be a big hit?
I'm not sure. I wasn't really involved with that side of things, exactly like expectations or anything. But as much as it maybe, I remember it doing pretty well. I thought it stayed in theaters for quite a while, but yeah. And then who would have thought that 5 years later people still love it, and now people are showing it to their kids, and it's still a big part of a lot of people's childhood, which is super special in so many ways. Yeah.
Do you know where Michael Burton and Phil Joannou got the idea for the movie?
Well, originally there was a story by Mark H. Baker, and he's a filmmaker up in Oregon, and he had the original story, and then I guess when Disney picked it up, then they switched it up a little bit, because I think it was a little bit darker originally. I'm not sure exactly all the details, but a bit of a different story and different twist to it. So I think it turned out good. Yeah.
Yeah, because I see a little similarities between The Last Starfighter and Explorers with this movie.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people say that, and there are similarities. I think that yeah. Although I guess it was the cutting edge, computer tech of Jeff Kleiser that made it a little bit different and pretty cool, and also a lot of they just left the heart of the movie and stuff, and it really brought out everything from wanting to fly in a spaceship as a little boy or girl to having that kind of adventure, and then also the more heartwarming parts of being separated from home and trying to get back home and feeling part of a family and reconnecting and all that stuff, which is just also super important.
Yeah. Yeah. How was working with Cliff DeYoung and Veronica Cartwright as your parents?
Well, they're both great. I remember, we felt like a family. Even Albie Whitaker, right, and little Jeff. I mean, he was a little brat. He sure was. But it was great. He played the part well, and it was fun. I felt, it was good. It was all very easy to work with, super kind people, wonderful. I mean, I think you might have seen on my page that we had a really cool family reunion last year, the Freeman family reunion.
Mm-hmm.
We got to meet up and do some filming for the documentary, but that was really cool to see them after all these years and just kind of reconnect and what a gift to be reconnected, and just it's super neat.
Was Sarah Jessica Parker there?
No, she wasn't there. I think she was working. So.
Because I heard that a couple years ago, an interviewer asked her about the movie, and she got kind of mad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't heard about that, but...
Yeah. It's unfortunate sometimes.
I had fun. I mean, who knows if she... Yeah, I mean, I thought she was great to work with. I had it was super fun doing, those scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's amazing, of course, right? She's a great actor, and even back then, and some of her, in one of her first things, I mean, it was great. She was wonderful. So
yeah. Did you get to see Matt Adler?
I did. Yeah, he didn't make it to the reunion. He was working as well, but we got to connect a day or two later and do some chats for the doc and just reconnect, and that was really cool. And I've seen him back in the 90s. So I think I was living down in LA, and I worked with Randall on his movie It's My Party.
Yeah.
And and so I got to see Matt then, and then we reconnected now. And so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. And of course, the great Howard Hessman was in the movie.
Absolutely. Dr. Johnny Fever, and head of the class, to name a few.
Yeah.
Wonderful, super great man. Also really neat to see him. He came to the little get-together or the screening of Navigator at the Egyptian Theater, which was really great. Great to see him after all these years. Just a wonderful man.
Yeah. I think he turned down Police Academy 3 to do this movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
All those little-known facts.
Yeah. All those little-known facts that you collect when you're doing a podcast. I read that there was a story involving your hair and some reshoots. Yes,
there was. So we finished filming,
mm-hmm.
and I don't want to ruin it for the fans, but at the same time, it's interesting to know that it's because a lot of people, until I say something, they don't really notice. So if you go back and look, there are some scenes where we finished filming, and then I'd gone back back home, and I cut my hair, and I was a little skater, boy at that time. So I dyed the front of my bangs all blonde, and then we had to reshoot the ending, and so part of it, I had to wear a wig, and so we had a great stylist who set me up, and so there's a few scenes you could pick out where I'm wearing a wig, and I'm trying to match my original curls.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think you're. Yeah, I don't think you're ruining it for the fans, though. I've heard stories like that in certain movies that they need reshoots for.
Yeah, it happens. It all happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they probably just CGI it or something, do some sort of computer. Just put a green cap on me and make it hair,
Yeah.
No. That'd probably still be a wig these days too. So.
Yeah. Do you know if they kept Max or they threw him out?
Well, a lot of the interior of the spaceship, most of it or all of it, was filmed in Norway. We finished filming in Florida, and then there was the Norwegian government wanted to promote, film in Norway, and so invested some money in the film, and we did all the interior spaceship over there. So they transported, the set over there, and then I don't know if it ever came back. It would be, I would love to have one of the Max robots for sure. But
there were several of them.
I'm guessing, there was one that would slide down the wall and onto the floor, and then there's the one hanging one. I'm pretty sure they were separate, different ones, but that would be so cool. I'm guessing that somebody probably kept one somewhere, but tracking it down might be a challenge.
I still can't believe Paul Rubens did the voice, because he was just riding high off Pee-wee at that time.
That's right, yeah. Well, it was neat. I guess him and Randall know each other, and they're friends, and Randall directed Big Top Pee-wee.
Right.
And stuff, so they, and I think when the back half of the movie changed, it kind of switched up some of the thoughts, and so they really then wanted this fun, gregarious voice and a little more comedic. It's actually, I was invited by Scripts Gone Wild to read the original Navigator script, which got postponed. They're trying to reschedule and get it put together, but reading the original script again, it reminded me of the whole. There was a whole other ending, right, with the Masters of Max, and it was a little darker. It was a little more dramatic, and I think it really gave Navigator the lift with with Paul's voice and that comedy and that fun. It really lightened stuff up, but still kept the heart of the movie alive and everything. So that was really neat.
Yeah. And was NASA in kind of a frenzy during that time because of the Challenger?
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I vaguely remember the Challenger, of course. Yeah. I don't think that we actually ever used NASA, like a real NASA hangars and stuff. It was, we're at airports and stuff like that. I don't quote me on that for sure. We could have, but I think I would have remembered had we gone to, like an actual NASA base or space station, or base or rocket launch or anything like that. So, I did get to go on the set of Miami Vice, which was really cool.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
Yeah, because we were in Fort Lauderdale, and if I remember, I think the property master from Navigator knew someone, or also did prop the land Vice, or there was some sort of connection. And of course, again, I was a huge Miami Vice fan when I was a kid, and so I got to go and meet all them, and yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Super fun experience.
You got a good story about guest starring on Murder, She Wrote?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was such a neat thing because working with Jackie Cooper, because of course she was an old-time, child actor and stuff as well. And, I mean, and Angela Lansbury, there's some definite icons, like, classic actors. And
oh, yeah.
And even, I can't remember his name, but he was the mean guy who, was gonna bat me in the episode, and he's from the Blues Brothers, right?
Charles Napier.
Yes, yeah, Charles Napier. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And and then I loved the Blues Brothers when I was a kid and things like that. So, but I mean that I remember doing those episodes, and it was again like how cool, because it was Death Stalks the Big Top, right? And there's and so it was all circus and stuff, and just super fun, super professional, really, really great times.
Yeah, God, the guest stars that they would have on that show, especially this one.
Yeah.
You got Martin Balsam, Jackie Cooper, Courtney Cox, Ronnie Cox, Greg Evigan, Florence Henderson, and Charles Napier. I mean, that's a star-studded guest cast. Wow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right, Greg, of course, yeah. Yeah, fun.
Yeah. How about Stone Fox?
Well, yeah, so after Navigator, I got quite a few, scripts sent and offers and things like that. I chose Stone Fox. I thought it was just a neat story and completely different from what I had just done. I remember another script I got sent was The Watchers, and which I think was Corey Haim ended up doing that one.
Maybe.
And,
yeah,
it was kind of a horror, horror flick, and it was a toss-up between those two that I was really interested in. But Stone Fox, I mean, it was, again, a really neat experience because it was like the period piece, so we're out. I mean, it was cold, but I got to learn how to ride a horse and do some dog sledding and some other kids in the film. So it was great. I wasn't so just by myself. We had I had a good connection with the other actors, the other kid actors and stuff, and it was fun sets and
yeah,
it was great. And Gordon Tatusis, for Stone Fox, and I remember I was trying to talk my mom into getting me a little Samoyed pup, because of course the dog sled team Samoyeds, and they had the breeders had little puppies there and stuff like that. But and Buddy Epson, I mean, another classic, amazing all-time actor. But when I look back on it, I was really, really fortunate as a kid, and got to work with a lot of amazing people who some of aren't with us anymore. But what an amazing experience! And I thought that was really. I thought it was fun, and completely different than Navigator. So.
Yeah, and Belinda Montgomery, I'm trying to get her. She's pretty good.
Right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And you were right, Corey Haim did do Watchers.
Yeah. Which I can't remember if I ever ended up seeing that movie, but I remember reading the script, and it was pretty creepy and cool.
Yeah. You mentioned before about It's My Party. To me, that's Randall's best movie. It's probably his most personal and the great cast.
Incredible cast. incredible movie made with so much heart. Definitely a labor of love. Wonderful, wonderful people and wonderful actors in it. The list in that one is pretty amazing as well. It goes on and on. So I was really proud and fortunate to be part of that too. Even if only just, like briefly I did some stand-in. I helped Randall a little bit and did some background and things like that. But it was really neat because I got to just kind of like assist, kind of like a production assistant. I would help Randall and stuff, and so really got to see how things, how a movie was made, and it was an amazing experience.
Were you interested in becoming a filmmaker?
Well, I think I always loved movies, and I think that I would have. The challenge for me, on a personal level, was after Navigator. Of course, I got in trouble, and I had the kind of, the issues of being a child star, not fitting in, and being bullied and being teased. And so then I bounced around from school to school, and then I got into drinking and drugs and things like that. And so it made it really hard. So then later, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and I always thought of acting and making films. That was just my passion. I had lost all sorts of self-confidence and identity and stuff, not fitting in and not feeling part of something. So I remember, even working on that film, it's like I had all these self-doubts of what I could or couldn't do, and when the movie was over, I ended up just moving back home to Vancouver, which was strange because I probably could have stayed there and had a really good mentor in Randall and some other people, and just and started to develop a career again. But everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't trade it because I'm so happy with where I'm at right now and who I am as a person, and everything that I've been through has brought me to this moment in my life, and I feel really good. I've been I'm still connected with Randall and Jonathan Sanger, and producer, and having this documentary and everything was a really cathartic, amazing experience. And and I've got a great acting coach, 2 great acting coaches up here in Vancouver, and looking to get an agent soon. So hopefully I'll get rekindle my career and get started again.
Wow, I didn't even realize that you had gone through all that stuff like a lot of child actors have. But that's great that you've persevered through it and stuff, because most people don't, and they also hold a lot of bitterness towards the past.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was in a dark place for a long time, and I went through a lot of stuff. But I've done a lot of self-growth and work, and I meditate and abundance, right? Meditation and visualization and all this stuff, and I live a really great life now, and I'm very, very grateful, for every experience, because it's brought me here where I'm confident and I'm happy, and I'm really working hard to achieve the dreams. It's never too late to be who you might have been. I can't remember who said it, but a wonderful quote that I love, because for anyone out there who's gone through hard times or going through hard times and everything, it's just little choices that we make every day that turn into big changes in our lives, and we can all aspire and deserve to be happy and to live, to live free of our personal demons and things like that. So,
yeah, I certainly have lived through that. My mother and I lost everything in 2013, living in the Bay Area where we're born and raised. And 2015, I got hit by a car that was alcohol-induced. and I've been sober 5 years now, and starting this podcast 3 years ago in the process, and it's just been a wonderful rebirth for me.
Excellent. Good for you. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Doesn't matter how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up, right?
Absolutely.
Just keep doing it. So
it's a miracle. What doesn't kill you only keeps you stronger.
That's right. Absolutely. It does.
So is that documentary going to be out next year for the 35th?
Yeah, our original plan was to release it this year, and with COVID and everything, it's kind of put a damper on film festivals and stuff.
Right.
Plus, Lisa really wants to do it justice. She's working really hard. I know she's tirelessly editing and putting it together. I think she said I might get a little preview pretty soon, so that would be exciting. And then we'll just we'll wait for the right time. I think it would be a great benefit to be able to actually show it at festivals instead of online, because it's going to be very touching and inspiring, I hope. So yeah, we'll see. And then of course, the 35-year anniversary of Flight of the Navigator is next year, and so I even said, hey, if we've got to wait till then, it's another cool kind of milestone that coincides with the documentary. So
yeah, before the pandemic started, did you have any conventions lined up?
I did. Yeah, I was supposed to do Miami in July and like Orlando in August, and maybe Knoxville. They got pushed back, and originally it was going to be Knoxville in August and Orlando in September. The Miami one got canceled, and now those ones got postponed or canceled. But safety first, and we'll see. I also had a couple of books in the UK. There's one in Edinburgh that was supposed to happen in October, but that one's been postponed. Now, as of right now, Manchester in December is still going ahead, and so that would be wonderful. I hope that it still happens as long as it's safe and everybody's as long as everybody's safe and it's all taken care of and it's still fun. So, but I've heard that they're doing better in the UK, so
yeah,
we will see what happens.
Yeah, they got. Some people are doing virtual cons, and I personally would never partake in that. It's just not the same,
Yeah, I mean, there's it is its own way of doing things, and it's still can be pretty fun. Though there's something about actually being, there face to face with someone that's just always, of course, really special and for both ways. I did the one Comic-Con at San Antonio, the Alamo Comic-Con in Alamo City, and it was amazing. My first one, and just meeting these fans, and I got just as much joy and pleasure out of meeting them, I think, as they did from meeting me. So it was a gift all around, and it's just wonderful. Yeah.
How long have you been doing the cons for?
Well, like I said, the Alamo one was my first, actually. So I got connected through Lisa because she worked with Sam J. Jones from Flash Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Flash, and he does a lot of them. So, yeah, so I've really only done the one there. And, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm always up for doing more if it works, because it's such a fun thing. So we'll see what happens this next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope I get to meet you at a con in the future, and I thank you so much for coming on today.
My pleasure, my pleasure. I'd love to come down and do San Diego one of these days, you know?
Oh, I heard that one is insane. I mean, billions and
Yeah.
billions of people go that whole week or
Right.
weekend, whatever, however long it is. It's always insane from what I heard, and
Yeah.
I hope it bounces back because this year they didn't do one. They're not doing one, obviously. I hope it doesn't
No.
make a financial plummet for them.
Yeah. Well, I think things should come back. I mean, there's a lot of talk about, you know, film industry having a hard time and will it bounce back and all these, more, you know, cons and concerts and everything. But, you know, we're resilient and stuff, so, you know, we'll see. But thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure. It was, I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best. And if I'm ever passing down by Reading, I will look you up.
My pleasure, Joey. Thank you so much, and you have yourself a great day.
All right, you too. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Well, there you have it. Joey Cramer. Ain't he a cool dude? Wow, I didn't even realize he had gone through all of that. That is so amazing. Nice guy. I'm glad he's doing much better, and can't wait to see that documentary. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes!